Good afternoon. This is Bektemba. This is for HR Management, BADM 537. This is the presentation for the HR interview paper. Today is April 23rd, 2013. I'm going to keep it really brief because that's been the requirement. So I'm going to talk to you briefly about the interview that I did of the HR professional that I worked with. This gentleman is essentially probably one of the most experienced HR professionals that I've ever met and had the pleasure to work with. He has over 25 years of experience, and for the last 10 years or so, he's been working as the leader of an organization or a human resources firm that he started over 10, close to 15 years ago. It's been really successful, but his span of professional experience goes a little over 25 years. He's worked with a number of Fortune 500 companies, and he's worked domestically and domestically and internationally. Currently, the reason why I've connected to him is because my company utilizes him as our kind of resident and primary source for HR. He helps us with anything related to human resources, employment law, benefits packages, personnel handbooks, and policy development. I began the interview talking about how he sees the industry, how it's changed over the number of years that he's been involved in it. And his responses were pretty interesting. I felt pretty edified or enlightened rather, by the information and kind of the way and the ease that he talked about it. He talked about how, in the very beginning, very similar to what our reading says, in the very beginning, it was the function of HR was essentially a paper pusher, essentially just for hiring and firing, never involved in strategic development, never involved in strategic management, never brought to the table in the perspective for anything that would take the company and look at the company in a way that moved the company forward. It was kind of just a function, like a piece of engine or a tool, rather. And as the industry and as the field progressed, he saw these things change. He saw from being just basically a function of shuffling and organizing paperwork to being brought to the table, and him himself being part of a strategic development and strategic efforts for the companies that he's worked for and consulted for. For us, he has been a huge impact because we grew from a company of about 75 to 100 employees to a company of over 200 employees within a matter of a month or two. We not too long ago strategically were awarded two major contracts, one in Georgia and one in Tennessee. We also had continuing contracts in Colorado, Wyoming, and other places. The reason why I bring that to your attention is because we were spreading the duty and the responsibility of human resources amongst a staff of about 8 people, and really it fell on the shoulders of myself, somewhat on the finance manager, very much on the president of the company, and somewhat on our administrative staff. And so therefore, with none of us being actual HR professionals and duly trained in the HR field, we, could have potentially put our company at risk. Now, none of us are uneducated, and none of us are incapable of, doing some of the functions of HR. But as we grow and as the size of our company grew, we needed this function. So that is what he does for us, his perspective. And I'm going to read really quickly the last last paragraph of my paper, because it kind of surmises what his feelings are. As we concluded, it says, as we concluded our time together, my subject seemed to feel validated. He thought that even though this assignment was for an HRM class, the fact that HR is continuing to grow in importance and relevance is positive to him. He felt that not only did the field offer protection for the organizations that they work for, but they provided input into strategic development and direction for the organization in a way that cannot be done. This is important to me. Cannot be done by any other department or executive management staff. That is really the key to the importance and to the relevance of the HR and HR profession and HR management to any organization of any size. Their function essentially cannot be done by any other department or any other, not in the way that it needs to be done, not in the way that it can strategically support the company's objectives. Thank you.